All right, folks. Good morning. Apologize for the new format. Again, I'm gonna be dragged kicking and screaming to this. I have a brief tomorrow afternoon where I wanted to use some stuff, but apparently that applied that to all the briefs. But we will go back to the older format because I can't stand this. I flew a legacy Hornet, not the new one. So again, I like all my old stuff because I can't figure out any of this, and I've used it. All right, let's go. Man, what a volatile market here. 3 days. Hold on. Share. Okay. Share. All right, you guys can see my screen, right? All right, really annoying. All right, let's go. So, great news in Raytheon news. The United States has given the most advanced air defense system to date to Ukraine. So instead of, and this is our weekly debrief too, obviously we're in accelerated retirement, but instead of ratcheting down tensions, right? This week, 30, your screen's much smaller. Yeah, trust me, Barry, we'll move back next week. I'll move this back for Bart tomorrow too. But we saw this week that 30 progressive Democrats got on board with the official Top Gun options position, which is, can we stop killing for a little bit and try and have a little bit of peace and see if we can work things out? And if we can't work things out, let's keep killing each other. That's such a radical, it's such a radical view, Wiz. So Raytheon CEO was on CNBC yesterday, just squawking away about good stuff, death. Can we all just take a moment of silence for, I am going to call it this, Meta. Can we all just take a moment of laughter? I mean, silence. I told you this was going to happen. With $9 billion on the metaverse. So Mark Zuckerberg's future involves people getting fat, sitting on their couch, eating Cheetos with a thing over their eyes to experience a fake universe. There's another tech titan who actually built a real fucking universe that's pretty damn cool if you walk outside your door. I could not be more thrilled with Meta being down 20% this morning. Found it. Oh, good. There you go. See, we'll get through it. Good job, Bob. So we celebrate their implosion because they deserve it. I celebrate when people suck and it's their fault. Yeah, I'm kidding, Deb. I'm calling them Meta right now, but Meta because they suck. I mean, Facebook sucked too. But with them hemorrhaging money, Wiz, me, still can't advertise on Facebook. The Top Gun Options Facebook page that was massively active, 20,000 people and 100 reviews, all sort. Bam! Shadow banned, jail. You can't advertise. You can't invite friends to like your page. Why? For telling what turned out to be the truth in a lot of things. So the fact that I have a social media team that's trying to, we have a call with this supervisor and this, they've actually gotten a hold of humans now. But the fact that, well, his page posted this stuff a year and a half ago, it's true. Yeah, but we flagged it at the time as false. Oh, so it's my problem, not yours. This tells you to short the fuck out of this company. I used to throw a lot of money every month at Facebook ads. And you heard me. I wasn't going to be a hypocrite. I'm like, I can't stand it. I'm admitting this. I have to use it for advertising. And then they significantly impacted my business. Now we're around it and I'm doing a bunch of other shit. But that should tell you something about that company. That the purple hair nipple ring remote worker at Facebook does not give a shit about money or profit. Does not look at anything. They don't care. I saw some pictures after Elon Musk walked into Twitter headquarters like a baller yesterday. There's a picture on somebody's Facebook thread of like him standing around some employees. You should see the looks on a couple of the ladies' faces. The dudes were kind of, the chicks, this lady had her hands crossed, and if looks could kill, and it's interesting because you could tell there was a couple of people around Elon Musk that were, they weren't Twitter employees. But, you're going to hit them with your purse. I would be more I'm bullish on Twitter. We might even talk about Twitter today, getting long-term bullish in accelerated retirement. It's gonna take some cleaning time, but Elon Musk is a pretty damn good businessman, unless you count Solyndra or whatever that other thing was called. But if you can get free money from the government, take it. So let's get back on track. But I just the fact, and Twitter's actually up today, the fact that that's on my screen makes my heart smile. Gordon Gekko's heart smile. He's like the Grinch. It's like a little heart, and Wiz's heart is always smiling. I got my mushroom shirt on today. I got my mala beads. I got yoga at noon. There's no way in a live trade brief a couple years ago I thought any of this would be happening, and it's fantastic. All right, but the NASMs. These are AMRAAM. I didn't get to shoot an AMRAAM in the fleet. I shot 2 Sidewinders and an AIM-7, a Sparrow. And I shot a freaking infrared Maverick into a dump truck full of charcoal that was burning. So I could, the heat signature, boom! It was awesome. Maverick, Sparrow, 2 AIM-9s. This is an AMRAAM on the ground. That's what an AMRAAM looks like. That would hang off my jet. That's an AMRAAM. Now they put them on ground launchers. So we are sending these. Again, if you didn't fill out your personal taxes yet, I claimed Ukraine as a dependent. And the highest paid government employee, the United States government employee, isn't Anthony Fauci anymore. It's Zelensky. So these things can knock down a butterfly, things from ballistic missiles to fighter jets to drones to everything. But the Raytheon CEO was on TV yesterday, just loving life, man. Loving life, because you can love life as you sit at the top of Raytheon and send weapons that kill. No, Eric, the AIM-7 was awesome. It was off of Barking Sands, an island off Hawaii. I forget the island off Hawaii, but they launched these drones, I think mine was a QF4 or something like that. It was awesome. We had like a wall of Hornets, and there was 3 of these drones, and it's loud. Like, I remember getting ready to squeeze the trigger. I'm like, I want to look at it, right? It's out there on the wing. I'm like, click. And they said there'd be a long delay, because it's like, you're all excited. I clicked, nothing happened. I'm like, that's a little too long. Then I look up and my master arm is off. I'm like, you want to shoot something live? You go arm, squeeze, whoosh. That's exactly what it sounded like, man. Whoosh. And it was perfect. It climbed right up into the Moranosphere and fucking came down. I'm looking through my HUD and boom, bulla. Actually, not boom. They do something to the drone before the missile hits, and it like goes into a chute or something so they can reuse a drone. I forget. I don't care. It just looked really cool, the explosion. There you go, Jack. Yeah, west of Kauai. Yeah. Oh, cool, Barry. Yeah. IR Maverick was awesome. But anyway, $23 million a piece, folks. Systems will be provided as fast as we can physically get them there. Again, guys, okay, Wiz laid on us, it's going to get worse type of bullshit. It ain't bullshit. It is going to get worse. When does Putin, does he wake up? Oh, and I saw, where was it? No, it's not up here. Some national security website I read, DOD, that they mapped out Putin's likely successors. For all of you who want Putin to eat a bullet and shit like that, it's the Adolf Hitler moment. The dudes that most likely would succeed him are worse than him. Why? Because they're trying to be buddy up to Putin to be, I'm more despicable. I like you. You're worse than me. Great. Now, I get it. There can be a coup and a bunch of generals and all that type of stuff. But if things just kind of, he mysteriously disappears, I don't believe there's some dude that's going to, or lady that springs up and goes, peace, love, and understanding. Sorry. Send us the invoice. Sorry. It doesn't just strike me as Russian. Don't forget, I don't want to fight, but don't forget some of those regions that they annexed illegally are pretty damn Russian. They speak Russian, and some of those regions actually don't mind being Russian. Some of the other ones, I got it wrong. Don't fight. But I told you a year ago that Vladimir Putin will use the Adolf Hitler excuse. There's ethnic Germans in the Sudetenland that need rescuing. So he did it. And then what did he do? He sent some of his special forces to Poland, dressed as Polish soldiers, and attacked a German whatever. It was a false flag, wasn't it? What happened on the phone call between Raytheon Austin? Secretary of Defense Austin. Did he work for Raytheon? Which board? He was on the board of directors of Raytheon, I believe. Somebody look that up real quick. So isn't this awesome? The dude that was on the board of directors for Raytheon, getting paid a shitload of money, is now in charge of, we're getting these 23 million, these life-saving systems as quickly as we can to protect the Ukrainian people. It's really interesting, folks, because a lot more people I talk to, except for who? A lot of people on Twitter with a mask on their face and a Ukraine flag in their bio who want World War III. You talk to most people, which I like to do, most people are kind of like, fuck, man, what's the end game on this thing? Most people aren't frothing at the mouth to fight another war. Oh, you did, Bill? That's all I've gotten from anybody that I know that have worked for him. So anyway, but Austin, I'm 99.9% sure worked at Raytheon. And then I think left Raytheon for a hedge fund that was just a defense industry hedge fund. So he was on the phone the other day for the first time in a while with who? The Secretary of Defense of Russia on their little hotline. So speaking of Adolf Hitler and the Germans doing a false flag attack into Poland to, say, hey, that happened. Now we can come in. The Russians are now saying that we have intel that the Ukrainians might do a little dirty bomb, false flag to get NATO involved. And this SecDef dude's like, that ain't coming from us. I'll let you know if we gonna nuke. If there's some random shit that happens, the Ukrainians did it. Well, that's what the Russians want us to think. It's a reverse false flag. And now you see why I'm telling us to throttle the fuck back. Now you get to the part on your whiteboard where you're like, oh shit, it's reverse strategery with another reverse. Everybody should in this room have read Friedrich von Clausewitz, right? Or even Sun Tzu. Folks, now we're getting into reverse false flags. Russia's planning to blow up a huge dam near Kherson and blame it on the Ukrainians. I think Zelensky would blow up that own dam to kill his own people to blame Russia. Yeah, exactly. See how that works? You see how the nuttiness works? Oh, thanks, Jeff. Raytheon, Nucor, and Tenet Healthcare. Isn't it funny how these generals and these admirals who leave the military just think they're absolute business fucking geniuses? Does anybody remember what happened to General Mattis, Secretary of Defense Mattis, who had to testify recently? General Mattis was on the board of what company? Hang on 1 second, guys. This is we just got interesting shit going on, man. I might be in California. My life is never dull. I might be in California next week repossessing a jet. So I'm in the middle of tracking down a jet so I can. There used to be a show. My buddy was on it. He was a Blue Angel. He was a student of mine, Matt Shorty. Matt Shortle was a Blue Angel and he got out. I forget what he does now in SoCal, but he was on that TV show, Aircraft Repo. It's so staged, but he actually repoed an L-39. I might you know what? I might actually call Shorty because maybe he can help me with it. Call Shorty. But yeah, so that's where I am at my life this morning. I am in the middle of maybe flying out to SoCal and grabbing my blue and white jet. I can't stand people. People are awful. Let's just leave it at that. Theranos, thank you. General Mattis was on the board of the female Steve Jobs. I'm just going to wear a black turtleneck and pretend I'm a genius. General Mattis never did any due diligence, did he? I think he made like $150,000 or whatever to just sit on the board, to go to like one board meeting a year or two board meetings a year. That's what these generals and admirals do. Come sit on our board. We'll fly down to Fort Lauderdale twice a year to party and just give us some legitimacy. That Theranos thing turned out, what was it, like a cardboard box? We take blood and then we send it out to Quest and we find magical shit in the blood. Did she go to jail? I think whatever. Let's move on. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, we wrap up the beginning of the brief that says what? It's going to get worse. I don't care who does it, whether it's if the Russians are going to use tactical nukes, it ain't going to be one, unless it is just one to like, here's a demonstration of what's going to happen in this whole country. Watch, and they do it, something like that. But if it's just a little breaking news, there's some nuke, whatever. You're telling me that definitely isn't a false flag attack? You don't know that. I don't know that. Hell, did you see Adam Kinzinger, almost former Congressman Kinzinger, Air Force dude? The ghost of Kyiv. There's a Ukrainian Air Force pilot that's an ace, shot down. I'm like, are you fucking insane? And he actually posted a clip that somebody posted online. Of course, it's a video game, like whatever they call that shit, DCS. I'm like, you think they film like a dogfight close to the ground? Are you an idiot? He's an Air Force cargo guy, I think, so clearly he is. But anyway, it's going to get worse. And when you get to the point, can you believe we're actually at the point of talking about nuclear false flag attacks? We're not like on this isn't a ghostwriter call, and we're not all Tom Clancy's like, hey, here's our next novel idea. This is happening. The fact that the Secretary of Defense talked to his Secretary of Defense and they're like, we think the Ukrainians are going to do a dirty nuke thing. Are you insane? With that talk going on, ladies and gents, I remind you to go look at something like this. Talks of a dirty bomb explosion in Europe. A nuclear explosion. And who cares? Okay. It's getting to Halloween here, getting a little cold in Europe. Anything can happen, and it's going to get worse. weekly debrief, we laughed about this. PayPal blamed her staff for the misfire of that letter signed by 30 of them to, hey, man, can we at least sit down at a table and talk? They got beat. They couldn't even last 24 hours and got beat into submission. AOC went to visit her constituents. They went apeshit about Ukraine. She signs this letter the next day. 24 hours later, they pull it. I was going to say good on her for listening to her constituents and then going to DC and signing this. And then, of course, they all turned into cowards and turned around and pulled the letter. That's where we are. You recommend peace, you're a traitor to this country, and you're a Russian agent. Okay, that's good. That's good stuff. You seem like a nice person and very well balanced. Operational, man. Did you see the GDP print? So why did we have a good GDP print? Anybody know? It wasn't us. It was what? Why did we have a good GDP print this morning? Thank you, William. Trade, not home, abroad. Consumer spending, which is our what? It's the freaking main engine of our GDP, throttled back. But of course, you'll see Jean-Claude Van Damme and the president today crowing about the good GDP numbers. You got it. The strong dollar, man, with trade. I'm in the mood to maybe even move to Brazil tomorrow and become the emperor of South America based on what the dollar's doing. It's so funny down here in South Florida. Every couple of years, it's what? I remember 4 years ago down in Miami, there were Brazilians flying. They charter airliners, come up and buy floors and floors of new condo buildings in Miami. Now you can't swing a dead cat down there with this strong dollar. But anyway, folks, use your brain and dig into the data. So I get it was a positive print, yay, but the yay is because of nothing at home. If you dig into the numbers, it's a boo. But we know that the White House and politicians talk to us like we're second graders. It's dumbed down to us, but good GDP print. So the good GDP print, the market opens up and implodes. Yeah, okay, that's really interesting. The ECB, another 75, man. I know we're in the middle of earnings and Meta and Google and Amazon coming up, AMC, blah, blah, blah. But we got a Fed meeting coming up. I think it's 100. The Fed funds futures rate's like 100% for a 75. I haven't looked recently, but it was a while ago. I don't know why that would change. Does the market, after we turn around it, look at amateur hour, man. Pound it into the dirt. When it turns, you get bullish, and then you hang out for the rest of the day, either doing iron condors or just hang. I had a good, I've had some nice, solid snipers lately, man. And I don't jinx myself, but I'm doing a pretty good streak. But I will show you a little of Wiz's mindset yesterday. Where was it? This one. Bull put spread. It ran away, did another one. And then as bear call spread. I'm sorry. As the market went up yesterday, I'm like, is this one of those days where it's just going to keep tearing? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get out of the way. And then it hovered. I used my 246 and I'm like, you know what? Canceled. CNXD, if you didn't know, that's a Navy maintenance term. Canceled closing order. So I was like, you know what, man? I needed to stick to my guns. I wrote that up here somewhere. Oh, it's over in the Intel commentary thread. Whatever. I'm not gonna. Whatever. But as we topped out, I'm like, I did a Braveheart hold, and it worked out. All right, let's press. Comical. I'm not going to beat this. This is the awesomest thing to happen. I'm sitting here in Facebook jail, ready to throw money at them. And no, you posted 2 true stories a year and a half ago or a year ago that we didn't like. And I'm like, do you hear yourself? The social media guy is like, dude, do you want to be on this call? I'm like, no, I don't. He's like, yeah, good call. I'm like, oh, my microphone's all the way over here. How come you guys didn't tell me you wasn't even close to me? I guess that's a good microphone. Nice job, Jim. 90% on 3 hours. That's good. So, folks, remember, as we talk about dogfight trading, you need to be out of phase, out of plane with the market. I was actually going to go flying today with a Pigpen, man. Pigpen's in town. Pigpen was a Tomcat guy, East Coast, I believe, who he did the medicine recently. I don't know if you follow me on social media, you saw that we helped him out a little bit. He went down south, and when I was pulling into San Diego for that shoot with Jack Maxwell for Booze Traveler, he was leaving, right? He had just gotten up from Mexico that morning, and I got to see him at the airport, and man, he just looked. And then I had him on my podcast recently, but he's in town. He works for like a blood company, not Theranos, but like a good one, or some sort of companies down here in Miami for a conference. And he told me it was going to be done at noon today. And then he just texted me. He's like, dude, it's actually 4. And he's south of Miami, which is like an hour and a half away because we're going to go flying. But then it gets close to sunset, and sunset scares me. Actually, I don't think you're allowed to fly an experimental jet. Like, was it? Plus or minus an hour? I don't know. I should know the FAAs. But anyway, I might go see Pigpen for dinner. That was a weird rant. Another bad shoot. Jack Maxwell is probably one of the nicest and funniest people I've ever met. Spent a couple days with him. He called me the other night, man, when I was moving through some shit, and he's one of the nicest people I've ever met. I hope they pick up his show. And he actually said that because I got a chance to, because the show's called Booze Traveler, and I had to come out of the closet a little bit, so to speak. I'm like, dude, the drinking. No offense to the show, the ibogaine nuked coffee for 8 months. And he's like, no, let's kind of talk about that, right? Because he's all about the responsible drinking. But he's, the Booze Travel originally was, I forget. The new one's called Spirit Quest, I think, right? Spirit, drinking, and then Quest. But he said, why am I rambling about this? He said, oh yeah, man, it gets picked up. I want to do a show dedicated to veterans and your cause and suicide. So we might have our own episode. He said, he's like, because he was thrilled. He was enamored with the whole thing. And it was cool having Ferg there, our Top Gun Maverick guy. U.S. core durable goods tumble the most since the COVID lockdown collapse. CapEx shrinks. So all you're going to hear today out of the White House and Democrats is the GDP print was awesome. What about core durable goods and people spending? Not only consumers, but businesses. Look at the GDP number. Hey, yay. Don't look at John Fetterman. Look at the GDP number. I don't know if Oz is going to pull that out. I can't believe the Herschel, again, Gloria Allred came out yesterday and did a Brent Kavanaugh. Last hour, here comes another woman against Herschel Walker. If that dude wins, it's funny how they freak out about the abortion thing. I guess they're trying to, I don't know if he didn't. I don't care. I'm present, right? I'm present. Like now, right? If I ran for office, man, I'd have to kill a lot of people, but actually I don't, because none of that matters. All that matters is now. How do you feel about things now, and what are you going to do, and everything like that? I mean, even Fetterman, like, I've always supported fracking. Okay, dude, you didn't. Let's not beat a dead horse, but so you'd support it now. And were we supposed to trust him as soon as he gets in? I've never said that. Of course that's going to happen. Elon Musk walking into Twitter with the kitchen sink. I thought it was a toilet at first, but I thought it was a toilet. That would have been more appropriate, but I love this. He's the chief twit. This is another, I just can't wait moment. I would fire almost every employee and start from scratch. This would be a phoenix moment. I would destroy it and rise from the ashes. The day he lets Donald Trump back on Twitter. Well, what did Trump say? He's like, I got my own. It's the best ever. Believe me, nobody does True Social better than me. But, Trump's a narcissist who needs validation. So I think he'd come back on Twitter as well. I mean, rhetorical question, because we did. Who could have seen this coming? I did a year and a half ago when I said Jerome Powell needs to start raising interest rates now and let off the gas pedal. He needs to pop the speed brake out on the QE, and he needs to start the QT and raise rates. Jerome didn't listen to me, or Janet, or Joe. Everything was transitory. Mayor Pete was on baby leave. It was a good time. Should write another book. I told you, I said, and when the election comes, Jerome Powell's going to get destroyed. I told you, folks, when you bow to the mob, it never works. And I don't listen to my own advice. That's a different story. But when you bow to the mob, it never works. Him sitting in front of his Humphrey Hawkins testimony each quarter, or whatever it's called, in front of the House and the Senate. The Senate's a little bit more dignified. But the House people, Maxine Waters, where's all the representation? And we demand that, one of this and one. He's like, yes, I'm on that. It's all about diversity and all that. The Republicans would have a solid punch to land or ask a question. And he's like, no, I won't get into politics of that. You just fucking talk for politics for an hour with all the Democrats, but you're not going to talk politics with us. So, okay. So for today, I have a couple potential long-term bullish trades. So I made some promises to talk about like a retirement strategy, right? We're in accelerated retirement right now. So we talked a couple weeks ago. I said, do some homework, find some high dividend yielding stocks, right? To either buy, if you buy a stock and you're a shareholder of record when that ex-div date happens, like, hey, I own a share, ka-ching, you get a dividend. What else can you do besides hold the stock and ka-ching, get a dividend? You can sell some at the money or slightly out of the money calls and ka-ching. It's an apartment. Lease your apartment. Rent out your house. It's an Airbnb. You own the place, but you rent it. So there's a couple ways to do that strategy, which is a retirement strategy, but there's a couple ways to do the tactics. Let me say that. Which would be what? I mean, there's some good high dividend. We talked about Altria, the Big Mo. There's a ton of solid dividend producing stocks. The problem with some of these stocks that produce a nice dividend are what? They're not that volatile. Usually stocks that are going to pay you a little bit back aren't zipping all over the place, right? We all laugh at Jeff Bezos. Dividends are stupid. Why would I give you money back? I'm keeping the money and I'm doing cool shit with it. I just built the Death Star with it. Would you rather have a couple bucks back or be a stormtrooper on the Death Star? So I know my answer. But there's another. Let's go to Mo. There's another way to work what we call the wheel or the retirement wheel. There's a 1-year chart of Mo. This makes my skin crawl looking at this company. So since I got my mushroom shirt on, let's talk about psychedelics briefly. Well, actually, not briefly, a little bit before we go Mo. Who's in phase? Changing America. Nearly half of U.S. adults support legalizing some psychedelics for mental health treatment. When it comes to psychedelics, Americans are cautious but curious. Do you know? Because this is what I do, man. When I wake up each morning, sometimes it's heavier than some days. On the No Fallen Heroes Instagram account, man, There are borderline suicidal people. There are people who there are veterans going. This is bad. There are spouses. Can you help my husband? Here's what I'm getting at. When I, Wiz, start talking to people about this, especially people who start with the fuck are you talking about? I guarantee you 99% of the time, by the time my conversation ends with them, I have changed a mind. Talked to my brother Marcus yesterday, Luttrell, for a long time. He's just great. He's almost done being a deacon in the Catholic Church. When that guy talks to people, when his wife, she makes the Pope look Jewish. She could not be more Catholic. They go 3 times a week, I think, maybe even more. She grows all the flowers out at Valhalla. That's the name of their ranch. She does all the flowers for them. They could not be the cutest, coolest couple. When she tells people, because some Catholics might be pretty averse to all of this, about her 5-MeO experience, she's like, I don't need my faith anymore. Oh my God. I have proof. Oh. So, why am I rambling about that? Because I think that headline's bullshit. The subheadline makes sense. They're cautious, of course. Why are they cautious? Fuck you, Richard Nixon. Anybody who does this stuff is anti-American, subversive, and an enemy of the state. Oh, how's the war on drugs coming for the past fill-in-the-blank years? Nice job, Kamala, throwing a shitload of African Americans in prison in California for a weed crime that wasn't violent, didn't have a gun, and they weren't a dealer. Well, we needed people to work on the roads. Oh, that's great. That's awesome. So the reason Americans are cautious is because the government lied to them. Who conducted studies against people's will without their knowledge on LSD? The fucking CIA. How about the Tuskegee State? You don't even want me get started on the experiments this government has done against its populace. Fought a war for shit less. We fought a war over taxes and representation, let alone, wait a minute, the CIA? Google it. Watch How to Change Your Mind. Read the damn book. We think we can control people's minds with LSD. Could you get any more creepy and evil? That's our motto at the CIA, Wiz. Oh, all right. Well, good job. Keep up the good work. So the reason half this country are cautious is because of bullshit and lies. How does something that came out of the earth, LSD comes from ergot, it's wheat. Did you not read the Immortality Key, which is also over there? That's in order. This is all the religion with no name, folks. Nice job, Mitch. Yeah, the biggest experiment is the vax. You nailed it, Karen. But anyway, guys, let's get off of this. But because there was something else I wanted to share. Yeah, I'll share this with you. This is, I get that they have to say, this is shifting. The No Fallen Heroes Project is changing this. I'm doing it personally. Our team is doing it on a daily basis. I'm telling you, man, because I personally am paying to boost a lot of these Instagram posts. Let me show you one of them, man. The most recent one I boosted on No Fallen Heroes. Let me show you the metrics of this. Let me show you the insights. This is the 22 to 44 day. Look at the reach. 74,000 in 6 days. Shares, 13,700. Likes, 7,500. Saves, 1,489. 1,500 people actually saved that post. 206 comments. A couple of the comments said, I'm the Antichrist, which is, that's awesome. I wish I had. Can I get a black cape like Emperor Palpatine? 69% women, 30 men, 30% women. This one, where I talked about experiencing my father and my sister. 77,000. 88,580. 88,580 impressions. How many ad plays? 84,000. The social media team, folks, are like, we've never seen anything like this in our career. They're like 26. I'm like, okay. But no, they're like, these are numbers that there's no other people out there getting these type of numbers. The Wiz and Marcus podcast, man, was insanity. Whatever. Here's what I'm getting at, folks. Short story long. If you're have some trepidation about this, I get it. But this is why. Oh, you see white? I'm sorry. All right. Well, trust me, I can take screenshots and show you. What I'm getting at, folks, is this is changing. So again, because somebody asked in the Max Afterburner group the other day, look at the S&P 500 today. Snipe the shit out of the S&P 500. Look at this. And I've been rambling, and I wish I'd been shooting. This is free money today, folks. I know we're in AR, but when I'm seeing shit, look at these snipes. Reverse. Anybody see any trends here? About $3 or $4 before where I put my lines. Bull put spread, bear call spread, bull put spread down here, bear call spread up here. And if they start slamming in the opposite direction, just get out of that spread. And I'm glad people are in the background doing this, but so gave you the link to that. This is a big effing deal, like Joe Biden told Barack Obama when they passed Obamacare. Really, Joe, was it? The Affordable Care Act is missing 2 letters, un. The world's first phase what? 3. This is the last one. Now, if you remember my stories from my trading firm in Chicago, what happened? A trader lost $4 million in a minute when Immunogen, when I was walking him out the door, and he's like, dude, Wiz, it passed 1, 2, 3. I kind of heard on the down low that it was, or no, the 1 and 2, and there was no way in famous last words. There's no way in hell it's not going to pass phase 3. Breaking news, Immunogen failed its phase 3. Boom. 80% down in a minute. $4 million loss to the firm. Wasn't his money. Professional traders. Okay. I could be a professional trader. Give me a shitload of somebody else's money. So, ladies and gentlemen, wow. This is a big deal. What am I rambling about? I'm rambling about the other day. Somebody asked, like, hey, dude, I didn't write down the other day the 3 or 4 biggest psych companies that we should invest in. Here is the number 1. Compass. CMPS. I don't care what the chart looks like today. I especially don't care what the chart looks like when? Last year. I don't give a shit. I care what the chart's going to look like next year. Now, dig into it, and this is a big deal. 1,000 participants. Now, if you watched How to Change Your Mind or you've read stuff, you know the Johns Hopkins, not Smith College, the Johns Hopkins oncology center that did the psilocybin treatment with the 85 or 24. I'm getting my numbers. 24 cancer patients. 85% of those 24 said no fear of death. Quality of life is through the roof. I'm a different person. Cancer doesn't even matter. What? If it was 5% or 10%, I'd still be like, well, good for those couple people. So 1,000 people. 1,000. Now, keep looking though. Looking to FDA approval by the end of 25. This is what I'm going to remind you. These ain't, hey man, I'm buying this and I'm getting rich tomorrow. Maybe even wait to buy. Let's go. I said I don't care what the chart looks. Let's take a look at what it's doing today. Compass. And again, people sit there That's my Tony MiG-17. So I told, well, I already told you, might be repossessing a jet in Los Angeles, which is, I'll film it too, because I want this guy on social media that he's a deadbeat. Yeah. Bringing the whiz back from the dead that died on a bed in Mexico is it's not smart, because now I have awareness of the dead whiz and what he can do when he puts his mind to it. So I'll call this guy back in a little bit. But anyway, well, whiz, it's down. Whatever. It's getting hammered. I don't care. Right? There was a while ago, back here, we got a deep throat Blue Horseshoe Loves Compass. And what did I do? I said, buy it with both hands. It went from 9 or 10 to 20. You doubled your money in 3 months. Now it's back down to 10. You could have gotten out. So couple stock management. I can't stand stock. Let's talk about it. Stock management is what? You doubled your money in 3 months. Maybe I'll take half off the table. Yeah. Maybe I'll take all off the table. Yeah. Maybe I'll let it ride. Yeah. You let it ride if what? Your commit criteria as to why you bought the stock is still valid. When I said Blue Horseshoe Loves Compass, said what? That's exactly my commit criteria. That's a water cooler thing. So if you can double your money on a buy Compass, get out of it. Now, obviously, that's all the left side of the chart. I don't know where my magic marker is. Oh, there's a draw thing, or my highlighter. But it's weird. All right, well, there we are. So this clearly could have happened, folks. Buy Compass, Wiz said. And that happens. That, of course, could have happened. But there's no way in hell that was going to happen. Meaning what? I knew there ain't no phase whatevers and whatevers and whatevers, right? So, that, and so if you can double your money, folks, do it. All right, stop drawing. So let's get going, because we have a lot of shit to talk about, or almost a lot of shit. Tony, that's where I was going. And Rick, that's where I was going too. Couple things, guys, you and gals, you can hop in your jet and go all the way out to only, this is weird, this isn't Wiz, this isn't E-Trade, this is Compass and the SIBO. They determine this, folks. Not me, not E-Trade. The company and the SIBO decide what expirations they have. They don't have weeklies, and how far out. They could have gone out a little further than the Jan 24s, because the Jan 24s right now don't cover what? The phase 3 trial. Exactly. So again, let me put a bow on this. Compass, a tie, $3 stock. Cybin. I've met just about every one of these CEOs. They don't have options. And MindMed. Every one of these words that just came out of my mouth is a lotto ticket. I've said this repeatedly. So when somebody's like, hey, man, MindMed's down, whatever, I'm like, I don't care. Why'd you get into it? I don't care that it's down whatever percent from where I bought it. It's a lottery ticket. I've said it repeatedly. Listen when I say lottery ticket. Sit up straight. One more time, every symbol that I just put on the screen is the internet 1999. Amazon, Google, Pets.com, Enron. You pick the right two, you're rich. You pick the wrong two, you're broke. You pick a mixture. So, as somebody just said, or you could get a bag of all of them with SIL. SIL is an ETF that tracks a lot of them. We will look back on this day, I guarantee you, and go, holy shit, I wish I loaded the boat back then. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, Wiz, I don't like people who talk in a third person, but it was funny when the guy on Seinfeld did it. Jimmy Wiz does not trade options on stocks under $10. They're an option. Why would you trade options on, whatever it was, a tie, or mine met at $3? That's dumb. Buy the damn stock. Just buy the stock. You could, let's go over to Compass. You could start working a wheel. I don't know if there's any premium. Here you go. Let's talk through this. If you sold 10 of November, about 3 weeks out, you sell 10 of November's 10 puts. Let's talk about this. What would happen? If you sell 10 of the Nov 22 10 puts, first of all, you bring in $800. You do that every month, 800 times 12 months, you make about 10 grand. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, on your screen is what we call a cash secured put. If you don't have enough money in your account, because what's the max potential loss? $9,200, right? The max potential loss is the stock going to zero between now and November. Okay. So, and it doesn't matter if you sit here and call E-Trade and sit on hold for an hour and go, but wait, it's not going to go to zero next click. This is all automated, folks. So if you wanted to sell, and I forget, Goose usually reminds me what the margin things are, like it's 3-1 or whatever. You don't need the full 10 grand in your account, depending on your options level. I gave a brief on this, folks, for Options House when we were building it, and I forget all of it. The point being is some of you might not need a full 10 grand in your account to do this because it's on margin, right? So, couple things. If by November expiration, you are above $10, what happens? Nothing. You keep your 800, no matter what, folks, you get $800 in your account. Okay. If it goes up, if it stays at $10, you make $800. And then what do? You do the Decembers. Stays above $10. You keep going. Oh, Compass went up a little bit. It's up here at 11 or 12. Sell the 12 and a halves. Right? This is called a wheel. You are bringing in premium every month and you're not doing a damn thing. Technically, this is free money. Now I'm going to use a cheesy line from some of my air quote competitors. How many times do you guys see an email or an online ad that says, I'm going to teach you to buy a stock at a discount? I would love to buy a stock at a discount. I'm going to sign up for that webinar. I'll give it to you right now. Wiz, if I sell these November 10 puts, I'm going to sell 10 of them. First of all, if you sell 10 contracts, how much are you on the hook for? 1,000 shares. If you wake up the third Friday in November and Compass is trading below $10, what happens to you? Well, first of all, you can get out of the contract. You can close it. Not, you know what? I'm going to get out of it. Right? Or on that Friday, you see that it's trading down at, 975 or something like that. I'm not going to do anything. Why? Because Saturday morning, when you're sitting here drinking your coffee and your bunny slippers, if it closed below $10, you're going to wake up like Christmas morning with 1,000 shares long. You're going to own 1,000 shares of Compass in your account. Okay? Everybody give me that vertical head nod. What's the break even, however? What's the credit we're bringing in? 70. Can anybody do some math for me? What's 10 minus 70? 70 cents. $9.30. Look at this. There's a 65% probability of at least making, or at least it being above 930. So, folks, when you sell on your screen a cash secured put, you can't sell a naked put. You can sell a cash secured put. And again, you either have the 10 grand in your account or whatever the ratio is. I might only need 4 grand in my account to do this. Okay, great. That's between you, God, and your broker. But what I'm saying is, folks, if Compass by expiration is above 930, you're making money, dude. And now you own the stock. I am a shareholder. So I am actually killing two birds with one stone because I'm awesome. We're talking about psychedelics, but I'm also talking about a potential retirement strategy and tactical implementation of it. So let's say Saturday in November, you do wake up with, God willing, with 1,000 shares in your account. You go out to the December at the money calls, whatever they would be at that time, and you sell the 10 calls and bring in money. If by that following month, it's not above, the stock isn't above your short calls, what happens? Nothing. You keep the damn money no matter what. You keep that credit you sold and you keep the shares. Then you sell the Januaries. So you keep selling them, folks. You keep bringing in money until what? I woke up Saturday morning and it was above my short calls. What happens? Those shares Saturday morning are swept out of your account. They are, quote, called away. In Chicago, back in the day, it was settlement day in Saturday, man. You had a book. There was books, dude. You're like, hey, man, settlement. It's like at the end of Trading Places, right? Margin call, boys. All trades have to settle by, closing bell. It's in the rules. A Duke has been on this exchange since it's been founded. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is kind of the wheel we work. Sell a cash secured put, make some money. Hey, I didn't get the shares. Sell a cash secured put. Oh, I got the shares. Sell some at the money calls, make some money. Didn't get called away. Sell more at the money calls. Hey, got called away. Back to selling cash secured puts. So, ladies and gentlemen, you do this exact same tactic for a high dividend stock. But obviously, it's going to take a little bit more scratch, man. If you're going to go, Paul, there's no downside in selling weekly calls. Like let's go to Mo. Actually, Paul, when I'm you guys saw me last year, man, when I owned like hundreds of shares of Amazon or cash secured puts, or when I was swinging big cash around in some of those names before I bought a jet that the guy is a deadbeat on that I'm going to go have to repossess. And then I'm going to flip the jet again. And maybe I'll start doing my Amazon tactics again. I was doing weeklies, man. There was weeks where I had like 2,000 or 3,000 shares of Microsoft, and I was bringing 10, 15 grand a week on short calls. I personally like, if I'm doing this wheel, I do the weeklies, Paul. The example on the screen was Compass, so maybe that was a bad example because they only had monthlies. But I was trying to kill the psychedelic bullish with the wheel bullish. Good. All right, so you remember that. Yeah, good. I like it. So Mo, so that's why, my competitors call it I'm going to show you how to buy stock at a discount. So I just showed you how you could have bought whatever it was, Compass, at a discount type of thing. That's what they call that's there. I saved you going to see somebody else's boring webinar. Now, whenever I see that type of advertisement, I say that's a little false. Why? Stocks go down for a reason. Maybe I don't want to buy it at a discount. Breaking news, the Compass CEO is the Antichrist, and, the stock is just at zero. Did you want that stock at a discount? No. Then I get it. It's a little marketing phrase, but stocks go up for a reason. They go down for a reason. So are you get ready to reload on a sniper if you're doing the snipes. That 3850, 3825 range is sniper alley. So, Bob, great call. And maybe skip the weekly covered calls on dividend week to capture the money. That's exactly right, Bob. There is an advanced tactic. I'd have to break out my PowerPoint, but options firms if you're short something, options firms on those days might exercise on the other side of that option to take delivery of the shares. So they are the shareholder on record, not you. I think that happened to me once when I was a little old retail trader sitting in Keller, Texas. And then when I got to Chicago, they're like, yeah, we probably did that to you. I'm like, you son of a bitch. And then I learned a lot. Remind me to talk about that maybe in the covered call training. So they will exercise, take delivery of the shares for that day. They're on somebody's Rolodex that, oh, these people own the shares on that day. And you're like, son of a bitch. You guys ever see that? John, of course I don't. I actually had lunch yesterday with Mike McDougall, my old partner. We built the Darwin Investing Network or the Wealth Creation Investing and stuff like that. But he was approaching me yesterday because you ready? Whether it's Agora, all these big financial firms are getting destroyed. He's like, dude, our industry is getting hammered. I'm like, we're doing pretty damn good. I love the lady who owned the firm in Chicago. One of her guiding precepts was, we don't make the most money. We make money consistently. So these flash in the pan services, we're on year what? 13, 2009. Okay. Tony, great question. The answer is yes, of course. I think the options on Compass trade one every other leap year. I was demonstrating the tactic. You obviously have to look at a name that's a little bit more liquid. But technically, Tony, if you hit the market on something, that's why they have market makers. They have to make a market, right? Exactly, Eli. If you're in a large dividend stock like an XOM or a Mo, they will exercise. Google it right now. I'm going to have to find covered call. What was it called? Force expiry dividend. What force? I forget what the PowerPoint's called, but I'm like, it was awesome. I'm like, that's so brilliant. It's so brilliant. The big firms come in, they might lose a little bit on forcing the exercise, but they take the shares, they get it's all math, guys. It ain't a feeling, right? The screen pops up and says, do this at this time because even though we'll pay a little bit, we make this in return. And that happens in milliseconds. It's called what? It's a type of arbitrage. So, yeah, exactly, Barry. You've seen it. The early exercise. You got it. You wake up and you're like, whoa. You call your broker and you're like, yeah, welcome to the party, pal. So Mo, what's it at? 46, let's go out a week from now on Mo. Oh, that's where I wanted to start on Mo. We're going to go a little bit late today, guys. Here's where I wanted to start on Mo. Tobacco. Ladies and gentlemen, the mushroom, the psilocybin mushroom on my shirt is a Schedule 1 drug in this country. Define Schedule 1 drug with no therapeutic use and high risk of addiction. Psilocybin, in just about everybody I've talked to that have done it in the right set and setting, not at a dead concert, it has absolutely been therapeutic. The dude that wrote No Therapeutic Use is a Richard Nixon plant piece of shit who's a good soul somewhere in there. High risk of addiction? I'm pretty damn good. Matter of fact, God's a pretty good pharmacologist because he, she, it, these are anti-addictive. The more psilocybin you take, the less it works. Speaking of Mo on your screen, can somebody explain to me why cigarettes are not a Schedule 1 drug? They are, I believe nicotine is not addictive. Do you remember that famous, all those freaking lying CEOs? You lie to Congress, it's perjury. They lie and nothing happens. I too believe, Senator, that nicotine is not addictive. You lying piece of shit. So not only is it extremely addictive, it has what? Zero therapeutic use. So in America, baby, this can get you thrown in prison, but you can have cigarettes. Somebody explain that to me. You actually don't have to explain it to me because just like alcohol, the most abused drug on the planet, follow the money whiz. Tobacco companies, I think we fought a damn war over maybe tobacco was part of it. You ain't telling us what to do down here. We got you hooked on that shit. The alcohol and tobacco lobby are, folks, damn, I grew up with the Marlboro Man ads on TV. I'm a tough cowboy with a cigarette. So, let's go out a week. You could do weekly. You can sell cash secured puts weekly. So let's sell 10 of next Friday's Mo. Do I have enough money in here to do this? Yeah. Let's do this on Mo, folks. I want to do a wheel on Mo in the AR portfolio. If you sell 10 of next Friday's 46 puts, you bring in $530. 530 times 52 trading weeks, not 12 months, 28 grand. You could potentially make 28 grand in a year just on selling cash secured puts on Mo. That might sound like a lot of money to you. That might sound like zero money to you. I don't care. It's $28,000. Now, we do the same wheel. Sell that cash secured put. You wake up, you take delivery of the shares. Then you turn around and you sell the at the money calls. So the 28 grand right now does not include what? If you ever get assigned and start selling upside calls. It also doesn't include what? If you get assigned and you sell upside calls, it doesn't take into account that the stock goes up for you to get your shares called away at that short call. Oh, so you can, with the wheel, folks, with the options wheel, you make money on the cash secured put. You make money potentially on the stock going up. You make money on selling short calls. 3 ways to make money on a wheel. So at a bare minimum, you could potentially make that. But let's get the disclaimer out of the way right now. You could lose every fucking thing. Breaking news, tobacco comes from hell. Satan is the CEO. Mo is trading at zero. That can happen. So the underlying can go down. Duh. But I always have to get the does out of the way because some people need a reminder of does. So I just talked about the goods. But what else can you also do? Sorry. Yeah, I shut it. But what else can you also do? If Mo is going up, if Mo is going down, if Mo is I'm sorry, Benoit. Thank you. Benoit is a good wingman sitting right there. You can do what? You're making money the fourth way. Thank you. Excuse me. Thanks, Mo. You can make money. That's the fourth way of making money is a dividend. Now I'm going to give you the 7th way. Wiz, I'm doing this wheel on Mo. Now you're staying in this name. This is a solo Mo brief, just like solo Amazon. In solo Mo, sell the cash secured puts, do that tactic. Do the wheel over here. I don't know where my highlighter is, but I do a little wheel over here. Well, shit, Mo's just in a trading range, Wiz. Iron Condor. Whoa, Mo's on a tear. Bull put spread. Mo's going down. Bear put spread, bear call spread. So you can surround your wheel with a bunch of other options tactics. This is why solo Amazon was born, what, 3 years ago? Because you can just trade one name. That was 7. That was 7 options tactics that I briefed you on in one name. And technically, there's a stock tactic in there. Let's do it. Anybody else have some big name? I like Mo. I mean, the dividend's solid. Now let's talk about the cash secured put. It's 11:11. Make a wish. That's a God moment. That's God, my sister, my father communicating with me that I am on the right path. Sell 10 of them. I'm going to do 10. in the retirement portfolio. Folks, you could do 1, you could do 5, you could do 3, you could do 100. I'm not you, you're not me. You don't want to be me. Sell 10 of these. But what potentially are, you can do 1, man, try it. What are you potentially on the hook for? Let's look right there. Holy shit, Wiz, 45 grand. That's between you and your broker. Right? So this wheel tactic, I'll save some more for next Accelerator Retirement. We'll talk about how to do something like this with just using the options. You should be going right now, Wiz. That's called synthetic stock. And I already watched the last Full Throttle training like you told me to do to get up to speed. So thank you. Everybody knows what synthetic stock is. And if you don't, choke yourself. So next week, we'll cover that anyway. But sell, I'm going to grab a screenshot of this. Sell 10 of these, man. What the hell's going on when I click share? I will hook you up for Bart tomorrow, man. I will not make you guys go through this again. Sell 10 of the 46 puts out to next Friday. If you do 5, you're on the hook for about 20 grand. And you'd get what? 500 shares assigned to you. One contract would be what? 100 shares. So, this is a good wheel tactic, but this is also, and folks, we are in, this is the retirement brief, right? So this is, this could be a nice chunk of your retirement account, right? I growing up in my options trading, I was usually kind of when I was younger, I was like a 70-30, 70 aggressive, 30 conservative. Now it's like 60, whatever. But this could be a big chunk of your conservative part of your portfolio. Steve, I'm not familiar with that. Let's just stick with Mo. All right. So the analytics, let me grab this. Again, folks, you can do one contract, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do 10 since this is the accelerated retirement portfolio. But folks, potentially bringing in $500 a week ain't nothing to sneeze at. That's a nice dinner out every Friday with the significant other, man, or taking the kids, or that's a nice annuity, isn't it? But again, you should only do this tactic on what? Stocks that ain't super volatile unless you really want to own them, and things that are stable. Things that are stable. Unless you do like the volatility and you like, and you like it. So again, this is the accelerated retirement portfolio. And I don't think if you saw that screen and I moved too quick, it's only eating up like $4,000 in haircut. So again, obviously I teach you, look at the max potential loss on that thing. I can't lose 40 grand. Yeesh. You lose 40 grand if the damn stock goes to zero in a month. It can. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No. You always talk through the 2 P's, possible and probable. And probable is on your screen. Anything is possible. Me sitting here today is a 1 in a 400 trillion chance. So obviously anything's possible. Oh my God, Tony, that is a blast from the past. That's still in business. I haven't looked in there in what, a year? Or, oh my God. Whoa. Oh my God. On your screen right now will be written in books. Boom, boom, boom. This will just take that out and put that in a book. Man. I dipped my toe. I wasn't a part of that. I called out the stupidity and I'm like, well, shit. I did the Jamie Dimon. I'm like, well, I think it's bullshit. I think it's a Ponzi scheme, but I'll make a market on it and try it. Nah, and I never looked at it again. I don't know. I keep knocking my glasses off. All right. I'm filled on the cash secured put. Oh, sorry about that. Why this? I can't. I had Mara up on the screen. Sorry, Ann. It was this. And I looked at the middle there. I'm like, cut out this section and just laugh. Look at this. Look at this stock. Bang. And then back down here. I don't know. I don't even know crypto exists anymore. That's me ignorant, and you do you. I'm doing me. New AR wagon wheel. Sorry I went late, but that was some good stuff. I promised, because I didn't last week, to get into this, and I did. So we kind of killed two birds with one stone. We looked at a compass potentially to do this, because I met the CEO in Miami. I met most of the CEOs or their managing directors and all that shit. It's a good. I'm usually a good judge or read of people. Just about everybody I've met at these conferences. I mean, I've been misled before, clearly, and I'm working on that. But they all seem like good people. But I like Compass. It seems like a Ty and Simon are the big ones. And I forget. I don't trade. I don't trade stock. Just Google it. I think you have to be on. There's two dates. There's the X date, and then the. Yeah, just look it up. I don't trade stock. This is the only time. Well, last year when I was doing my mom, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon stocks, but I forget. I don't know. Anybody remember? Or just Google it. Or just get on the live chat with your broker. I mean, they can answer that pretty quickly. All right, let me see if I have anything else going on. All right, guys. Any other questions, concerns? Oh, by the way, again, sorry I went late. I want to go hit some. There you go. Eric just posted some intel in there. So, yeah. I know you got to own on the ex-div date, but I thought there was a little bit of slop. I don't know. I forget, man. That's what it is, Andrew, right? You got to own by the closing day before the X date, right? Something like that. Yeah, thanks, Bob. Bob got it right. All right, guys, there you go. We got our answer. That's what I thought. There's some little. It's that's why I think the day before that is when that options tactic, I'm gonna punch you in the face out of the blue, happens on that date, right? That's what it was, though. All right, guys, I'm good. You got Bart tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'm going to fix the go to training right now before I get out of here. We had a great week. This was fun. I think I'm 3 or 4 for 4 for sniper shots this week, which is really good. Didn't talk about Amazon because it doesn't matter. I have no idea what's going to happen today. If you're a little squirrely on Amazon right now and you don't want to risk your iron condor get blown out, get out of it. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. You can watch yesterday's replay or the solo Amazon replay. I've been all over this. It looks like people are thinking that Amazon is gonna fade with all the other techs. So right now you could be out of the other bear call spread if you reestablish the iron condor, and maybe you could put on another one lower down here. And if this bull put spread gets blown out, if you've done a couple of these bear call spreads that have closed for max profit or 7, 8, 9, you're probably going to negate the loss to the downside. If your bear put spread is really in the shitter. Okay, so I beat that dead horse all week with how to manage in and out of Amazon all week, but it's a coin flip, man. It's really, what do we talk about? Look at this run up. What did I tell you, man? Whenever Amazon runs up into earnings, all of them did. Microsoft, they all ran up in earnings and are all getting destroyed. So is Amazon going to be the outlier? Hey, destroyed, but then yay, it could. They could come out with some great earnings and some good forward look, but yeah. So, all right, folks, I got to go. Way too late. I'm going to get going. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless you all. Great week. Looking forward to seeing you next week. You got Bart tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., and he's got some good good shit for you guys to look at with all his charting stuff that's going on, because this is a target-rich environment for Bart. All right, guys, God bless, and I'll see y'all next week. We'll see you.